Hi guys, Ali Duzette here, and it is day 5 out of this 14-day window between eclipses. This is the eclipse portal between uh, October 14th and October 28th. We had a solar eclipse on October 14th. We're building up to a lunar eclipse on October 18th, on October 28th. And this 2-week window in between is a time when everyone in the whole world has their energy field rewired, and we all get these big opportunities to heal our lives. So this is very, very exciting stuff. And I'm really glad that you're here on the journey. If you haven't watched the rest of my videos from this month, I recommend them because before we started this eclipse portal, I had 2 weeks of prep work, which you can do now. If you're just starting today, go start over from the beginning if you feel like it, and have a great time, because I'm really fun and so are you, and we have a great time together on the internet. And otherwise, here we are. It's day 5, and let's talk about it, because today we have some interesting stuff happening, and I'm going to show you the star chart. This is today, and the thing that I really want to bring our attention to today is Mercury. This is Mercury. Let's see if, there we go. We highlighted him. He's got a little hat on. If you remember Mercury Hermes from Greek and Roman mythology, he had like a winged hat and winged feet. So this is his like little winged hat. Boop. And he is the messenger of the gods. And where Mercury is in a chart, it deals with what we're thinking about and what we are talking about. And today, Mercury is right next to the South Node. Mercury moves really quick around the zodiac. So Mercury is always bopping around pretty fast. So he'll be here, today and tomorrow-ish. And, in a couple days, he'll be long gone. But today, this is where he is. And to have Mercury right next to the South Node is a really interesting placement, because whenever things are near the South Node, sometimes it can bring up kind of like the baggage and the unresolved problems. So today is a day, and probably tomorrow as well, probably the rest of this week, we want to keep a really good eye on what we're saying and being very aware of how our words may be misconstrued and misinterpreted, and how that can cause problems for ourselves and other people, because that is very possible with Mercury in this placement. Mercury in this placement today and in the next few days is probably going to drive a lot of people to start really thinking about what is fair and what is not fair. Libra is very into determining what is fair and what is not fair, and having Mercury in there is going to have us get our little brains turning. Is this fair? Is that fair? And we're going to be thinking about it. Now, it gets a little bit more complex than this. Okay, let's show you on the big screen. What was the thing I wanted to mention? Okay, here he is. Boop. And if you notice, there's this blue line here to this guy, and this is Saturn at 0 degrees of Pisces. This blue line means that there's an easy and natural flow between them. And Saturn deals with karma and issues of the harvest. Okay, what I mean by that is that Saturn is the guy that we look at in a star chart to see, are we receiving what we sowed? Like as you sow, so shall ye reap. That is the energy of Saturn. And it was always considered a negative planet or a malefic, because most people do a lot of terrible things and then have terrible things come back to them. It doesn't have to be bad, but if we want positive Saturn influences in our charts, then we have to be putting out good into the world instead of bad. And when we do put bad into the world, we need to fix it and do what we can to heal our own hearts so it doesn't happen again, and to make restitution for the problems that we've caused. When we do that, Saturn becomes our best friend and draws everything good to us. And when we don't do that, it causes everything bad to happen to us. So it doesn't make it happen to us, but it's a reflection of how it will happen to us. So this is a really interesting energy to have our thought processes, thinking about what is fair and what is not fair, and having that have this flow to what is showing up in our lives as a result of our own harvest. Every single day, your life is a harvest of your previous days on this earth. Okay, every single day you wake up, and the life that you're experiencing right now is the sum total of all the choices that you have made prior to this point. They've all added up on each other one day at a time and brought you right here, which is so fun and exciting and horrifying and terrible and rotten, right? It just depends on how we have made our choices up until now, and the kinds of things that we have allowed ourselves to go through up until this point. But Saturn is going to be bringing this into our attention. And as I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, this video is like totally helping with the whole like all of it, like this video is going to help you harness that energy, because today you get to be more conscious about what are you harvesting? What are you experiencing today? When you're looking at your life and noticing what is fair and what's not fair, like that Mercury in Libra is going to drive you to do, when you're thinking about that, the other half of the equation is, what is this the harvest of? What is this the consequence of? What is the seed that I planted that led me to this place? Right? So being conscious of this is going to change everything for us. Once we start to realize that every single day we're planting seeds, we get to be a lot more conscious about which seeds we want to plant. Every conversation is a seed. Every YouTube video you make is a seed. Every interaction that you have with other people and with yourself, taking a shower is a seed that you're planting. Brushing your teeth is a seed that you're planting. And all these things over time add up to create the life that you live. And today we get to choose if we want to plant some different seeds, right? If we don't like the harvest, then we need to pick some new seeds, right? So how is your harvest today? Is it feeling fair or unfair? It all will come back to the seeds that you are sowing. So what seeds have you sown in the past, and what seeds do you want to sow in the future? This is going to be a great journaling exercise if you want to, if you feel like journaling about it, thinking about what is today a harvest of, and what would I prefer to harvest in the future? If I prefer to harvest a really successful business 5 years from now, what are the seeds I need to plant today to grow that business? If I want to have really beautiful relationships with my children in 5 years from now, what seeds do I have to plant today so that I can get that harvest? If I want a great marriage, how do I get that harvest? What are the little seeds I have to plant today and tomorrow and the next day so that I can reap that harvest, right? So we got to kind of think a little bit down the road. Years ago, when I was a teenager, I read a book somewhere. I will never remember which book, but it said that the smartest thing you can do in your life is take a step back and think about what are the things that you will wish you had known in 5 years from now, and learn them today. And I really feel like that is true. And that is how I've tried to live my life. And I'm not perfect at it by any means, but you look ahead and you say, okay, I don't need to know all the things about raising teenagers right now. I don't have any teenagers right now, but I will soon. And maybe now is a good time to start reading the books about parenting teenagers. The time to start learning about the things that can prevent disasters in our lives is before the disasters happen. So it can pay to look ahead and say, okay, I want to have a great marriage. I'm going to start reading the good marriage books, like right when I get married or before I get married. I want to have a successful house buying experience. So I'm going to learn about real estate before I put my house on the market. We got to think ahead. And when we do that, we see a lot of blessings. Okay, yesterday we talked about hand fascia. I think the fascia in your hand. I didn't even really talk about what that even is, but fascia is connective tissue in your hand. And actually, when a human is conceived, right, they get half of the DNA from the mom, half the DNA from the dad, and it joins together. My understanding is that first cell of any human is a fascia cell. So this is the connective tissue that runs all the way through your entire body. And it, in my opinion, does store emotions. And when you heal your fascia and work on your fascia, you're also healing your emotions. You heal everything about yourself. Your fascia, when it has problems, it gets knotted up and gunked up. It's called adhesions. You get fascial adhesions. And when you can break up those fascial adhesions, it allows for a greater flow of the fluid in your body. And all health comes down to hydraulics. It all comes down to how is the fluid moving in your body. If the fluid is not moving, you have a lot of problems. That would be things like edema, but things like sluggish anything, your sluggish hormones, sluggish thyroid, sluggish thinking, your brain fog, it's all coming down to inadequate fluid movement. On the other hand, if you have excessive movement of fluid, then you have things like diarrhea. You might have things like adrenaline issues and adrenal problems. Like you can have excessive fluid movement and inadequate fluid movement, and you can have them both at the same time. You can have fascial adhesions that are blocking off the flow of fluid to your arm and or your liver or something, and you can also have an excess of fluid motion in other parts of your body. And it just depends person to person, but the hand fascia session specifically works on the connective tissue in your hands. So it is really recommended for everyone because we all have hands and we use them all day long. So that Um, that is a good one, but today I'm going to show you the one that I was thinking of for today. So this is my website, aliduzatclasses.com. This is from the hand fascia session. It's all in alphabetical order. Today, what came into my mind was that we needed to work on, oh, there it is, self-punishment, clearing self-punishment. This one, people self-punish in all kinds of ways, and this is kind of a little bit on steroids during an eclipse portal. That's my opinion. Here, I'll stop my video for a second, give you a quick tour of the page. I love this. I've never experienced anything like I did with this module. It feels like it was made specifically for me. Yes, a surprisingly powerful and quick session, blew me away in a great way. Yes, I love this. And oh, good. There's like a lot of these in here. If you struggle with self-punishment, this is going to be a really, really helpful session for you. And most of my stuff's available by donation. Okay, yeah. So you can just pick like the $10 option, whatever. And you do not have to do this session to have a successful Eclipse portal experience. I really urge you to tune in with yourself and see what you need to do to have the best Eclipse portal experience that you need to have. But just at the beginning of this Eclipse portal, I kind of tuned in and asked, like, what are the sessions that I should suggest every day? And this one came up for today. So you tune into yourself and see if you would benefit from working through some self-punishment. But everyone self-punishes, and it's a big problem because when we get hooked on self-punishment energy, we hold ourselves back in every way, and it can rear its head in unexpected ways, like overeating or undereating, or it can look like entertainment addiction. Like they can manifest in different addictive behaviors. It can manifest in causing fights and drama with family members and people that we love and our friends. It can show up in a whole bunch of very strange ways and unexpected ways. And so I'm really interested, if you decide to work on your self-punishment today using that session, I will be really interested to hear how it goes for you and what changes you notice in your life from that. So yeah, you can leave your comments. Like if you do it, you can comment below. There's like a little thing in there where you can like type a message to me, and I'll tell you I have like 15,000 unread messages in there. So I'm sorry. I try, but that's like a lot of messages, and I get overwhelmed, and then I get scared, and I'm like, this is so many. And so I don't often see a lot of the things in there in a timely manner. Eventually I do, but not in a timely manner. But in Facebook, I usually see it in a timely manner. Even if I don't comment, I often will see the things that are posted. So come and hang out on Facebook, Intuitive Healing with Ali Tuzet. Thank you for being here. Day 5. I'm going to see you on day 6. We're getting through it. I'm proud of you. You're doing much better than you think you are. During eclipse portals, everybody's lives kind of fall apart and then have to like sort themselves back up together. It does sort itself out back together if you go into this with the attitude of faith and confidence that our Creator is going to make everything work out well for you. So keep believing everything can work out great for you. I know it. It literally can. So thank you for being here, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Bye.